Hi there, it's Bike Tour Mike here, and welcome to the third day of my bike tour here in Tuscany, Italy. And today we're starting off at Piazza di Michelangelo, overlooking the city of Florence behind me. Getting here was a bit of a nightmare. The traffic situation in the morning here in Florence is real intense, but now I'm here and I'm looking forward to getting down to the city center here and exploring it a bit more. We've just started having a bit of a drizzle here, and according to the weather forecast, today it's going to be thunderstorms here in the afternoon. So I'm getting my rain jacket ready and hoping for the best.
Remember when we were saying that Lorenzo was so, well, the men were so loved by people?
So behind me here you can see a statue of Cosimo de' Medici, a banker and politician back in the 15th century who was pretty much the ruler of Florence back during the Renaissance era here in Italy. And there are statues of Cosimo all over Tuscany, but the one behind me here is probably the most famous of them. I've made my way to the Cattedrale Santa Maria del Fiore, which is probably the most famous landmark here in Florence. And this church was built back in the Renaissance area, back in the 15th century, and was upon its completion the largest church in all of the world, seating over 30,000 people. And it also has a really impressive dome or cupola on the other side of the church here. And the dome was financed by the Medici family. And you really need to be here in person to be able to appreciate how grand and huge this thing really is. I have no idea why this sandwich shop is so popular, but we gotta go with the locals. Just look at the line behind there. It's way around the block. It almost looks like the Soup Nazi episode of Seinfeld. Just hiding out under a tree here to get away from the rain for a couple of minutes. So it's been basically just climbing over hills and then steep downhills and then climbing again ever since I left Florence. So I'm now deep in the Chianti wine region and I'm aiming to follow this road all the way down to the little town of San Gimignano. That is a small hilltop village perched on a big hill. And I think I have about 30-35 kilometers left until I reach San Gimignano. And there looks like there's a campground about 2 kilometers south of San Gimignano. So that's probably where I'm gonna sleep tonight. There are water fountains like this one in almost every town here in Tuscany. The problem is you just gotta find them. So what I do is I have this app called Maps.me. So if I just do a search for drinking water, you get some small blue dots where these fountains are located. So it turns out that there's a lot of steep climbs or small hills here in Tuscany. And some of them you might just want to hike up them instead and do some hike and push the bike at the same time. But at least I got some lovely views while I push my bike up this hill. So I had to change plans and take a shortcut, or shortcut in kilometers but not elevation. So taking this shortcut meant going up to this hilltop village called Montefiorale, and I think I had about 200-meter climb to get up here. And now we're just waiting for the red light to turn green here, since only one car can go in one direction at a time, so we have to wait for the oncoming traffic here. Whew. This climb turned out to be a lot more than 200 meters. I'm about 600 meters in right now. Woo! There's a saying that shortcuts are often detours. But hopefully I'm near the top and then I'll have a nice decline from there. You see the village down there with the castle? That's where I stopped maybe half an hour ago and waited for the red lights. That was 200 meters into the climb, so I'm now at 600 meters in.
Here 'cause you make a difference, so go against the flow as you and your wild-heart sister running further down the road. Let the bullies beg for forgiveness, keep the punks under the thumb. Let's dance with the dandelions while they sing a song.
So I just did some dinner shopping here at my favorite store, Lidl. And for those of you who wonder why Lidl is my favorite store, is because of this reason. You can park your bike just outside the store and you can see the bike when you're standing in line at the cashier. So it makes shopping kind of easy and stress-free, so you don't have to worry about your bike or someone's going through your panniers. So I have about 12 kilometers left to go, and 12 kilometers doesn't sound like that much, but it has 200 meters of elevation. So I got a long climb ahead of me here, and right now it's 7 o'clock and the sun sets in about 15 minutes or so. So I'm gearing up with my front light and back light on the bike now, so that I'm seen in the traffic. So I'm looking forward to becoming a bit sweaty again before I reach the campground, but I hope they have a warm shower waiting for me when I get there. That feeling of getting into the shower after a hard day out on the bike, battling the heat here in Tuscany, is worth the 17 or 18 euros alone. For this trip I didn't bring a stove for a couple of reasons. First of all, for keeping my packing volume down. And the second one is that I know by experience that when I'm on these international trips, I tend not to use the stove as much as I do back home in Sweden when I'm basically camping out in the forest. Usually when I'm here in Spain, Italy or France, I'm staying at campgrounds. So it's a lot easier to eat a good dinner at the campground or at a nearby restaurant. Plus it allows me to really dwelch in on the local cuisine. And yesterday I had a really nice pizza, and tonight I'm doing it more basic. So before I came here I stopped by Lidl and bought some food that I'm gonna enjoy now. So I thought I'd show you what I got. First of all, I got this bottle of nice white wine, which I'm not gonna drink everything, believe me. And I got these olives and feta cheese. Also got some potato chips, Grana Padano cheese from Italy, some nice grapes, and to top it off, some Italian cheesecake. All in all, I paid just under 10 euros for all of this. And if you want to see all the things that I'm bringing along on this journey, you can do so by clicking the link up in the corner here. And if you haven't watched the first video from this tour, you can do so by clicking the link down in the corner here. Otherwise, until next time, have a good one.